Hey guys, this is John, and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. Now, we're doing something a little different today from your regular comic book related or comic haul video. I instead want to show you another comic adjacent collection, and we're talking about Marvel Legends. So I got my buddy Renew Your Vows Spider-Man here and X-Men 97 Nightcrawler, and we're gonna go into my modest collection of Marvel Legends. I'm a longtime toy fan, and having kids of my own, sometimes I have a good excuse to pick something up as I break them out of the box. I don't mind, with the kids playing with it. I don't mind, posing and being silly with these guys. But what I collect as far as Marvel Legends are basically my favorite characters, kind of like my all-time favorite characters. Looking at who I've picked up so far, you'll probably get a little insight in my favorite heroes and villains. In this case, of the Marvel Universe, I don't really have any DC toys, which probably tracks given I'm not as big of a DC fan. But you know what? My wallet probably thanks me for it. So I'm a longtime toy fan. I have quite the Transformers collection as well. Both my vintage ones that from my childhood, as well as some of the current ones that Hasbro's been putting out. And those are heavily influenced by Generation 1. That might be a future video, so if you're a fellow Transformers fan or would like to see that collection, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, let's head over to the tabletop and take a look at Marvel Legends. Alright guys, and now we've switched to the tabletop view. Sorry for the cut off picture of Rocket Raccoon, but some of you might have noticed him and Groot back here. That's the little picture we got in the background. Thanks to Phil Noto. Signed and got it from him directly from a Boston Comic Con years and years ago. But anyway, today we're talking about Marvel Legends, and I'll try to group these figures in the most logical way I can, but if it's kind of random too, just bear with me. So I figured let's start with the first Marvel Legend I picked up, and this is of course the current series of Marvel Legends. The big bad himself, Thanos, was my first Marvel Legends. And this figure is great. I had been wanting a Thanos figure for a while. There was a Diamond Select one that came with Lady Death and Wally Great Mold. This one has the articulation. It also has the, I believe it's called the King Thanos alternate head that was from the, I think Donny Cates or Jeff Lemire. Well, it's the same title. The Thanos Ongoing, the one that we got, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Great stuff. Of the alternate hands, of course, I had to give our boy the Infinity Gauntlet here. Just a great representation, a very comic accurate. There's plenty of MCU versions. That's not the Thanos that I came to love, nor did I grow up on. So really happy to have this more comic inspired version. And I'm gonna do my best. Let's put these guys in the background as we look at other figures. To group together pretty well with Thanos, this is a more recent pickup. We've got Norrin Radd Silver Surfer with a blast effect and a spiffy surfboard. It's a simplistic figure, but as you probably can guess, when I came to know Thanos, it was through this guy's title. So I had to have, of course, a matching one, and you best believe that I have pre-ordered Adam Warlock as well. That's coming out. I think it's coming out in a few months at time of recording. So really great representation of Silver Surfer. There's been a few re-releases, and I don't know exactly which wave this is, but if you notice kind of the eyeliner, or the outline, that's the version I have, which I prefer. I think there's one that doesn't have the black outline in the eyes, but that's the one I got. Moving on, let's cover some of the X-Men. This was a very early Marvel Legends I got too. I had wanted a Wolverine, and this brown and tan one is actually not the old school version. This is the Krakoan Age, Jonathan Hickman penned, recently completed arc of the X-Men. Really cool figure, kind of a bit of a sinister sneer on this version of Wolverine. One goal is to show you my current Marvel Legends collections and then do some unboxings. And there are some more Wolverines that need to be unboxed, but this one served its purpose. And if you're going to have
multiples of figures. It'll probably be Spider-Man, and it's probably going to be a bunch of Wolverines. Next up, we've got the retro card Deadpool. He's all weaponed out. I don't think this is even all his weapons, but he's got 2 swords in the back. There weren't any alternate heads for this one, but even though we opened up the figures, I don't really keep the packaging for the most part. Maybe the odd box in the multi-pack to help just contain all the accessories. This one is a great representation of Deadpool. Merc with a mouth, and you best believe he benefits from all the articulation of this line. I am a very casual Marvel Legends collector, and things like toe articulation and other things that I think people require in their figures isn't necessarily the case for me. I mean, I come from the time of 5-point articulation, and we were super happy with that. And now for some big boys, there's this 2-pack of, oh my god, he's Juggernaut doesn't even fit in the frame. Oh, I hadn't considered that. Holy moly. Let me pull the camera back. Well, this absolute unit of a figure is a great representation of Cain Marko Juggernaut, and he came packed in with one of my favorite X-Men, Colossus, Piotr Rasputin. Colossus has no problem fitting on the screen here, but this is just a great 2-pack. I mean, 2 big chunky figures. These guys came with alternate hands and alternate head. Juggernaut has an unmasked head too, so I thought that was really nice. Big figures like Juggernaut have ratcheted joints as well. I don't know. I can't really squash him down anymore, but just this face sculpt underneath the mask is pupilless. It kind of gives an extra villainous look to him. But really cool 2-pack here. Maybe I'll put them right in the middle here as we move on. All right, that was a little trickier to get everyone set up, but let's keep going. Next batch of X-Men figures. We got just a few more. I really like the X-Men 97 cartoon that came out last year, and these figures, they came out really early before the series premiered. Otherwise, I probably would have bought the whole line, but like many other fans, collectors, I was scrambling to get these after the show started airing. I was able to get this Cyclops here with great representation. I think face sculpt wise, some people don't like that he looks on the young side, but as far as the colors and even this optic blast effect, it's just really awesome. And you gotta love this Jim Lee version of Cyclops' costume. And then we have probably my favorite X-Man. It's really a tie between him and Colossus, although Colossus's character arc in recent years has kind of made him slip in the ranks, at least in my head. I absolutely love Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, and this was a great version captured. I love that he was added to the main cast for the 97 cartoon as well. It's too bad he does not have his swords, but I think if I really wanted to, I could always get some third party, or I think previous versions of Nightcrawler might have come with the swords. And last but not least, representing the X-Men, we've got Jean Grey, also in the classic Jim Lee costume. I feel like this is one where you could easily customize. There are a bunch of the lines here that you could fill in with some black paint. Maybe, I don't know if Gundam markers would be the right thing, because you use those to fill in the lines. I am not one to custom. I'm not handy. I'm not that crafty, so I'm not usually into customizing. But I feel like this wouldn't be that hard. All right, so the figures are starting to fall over. So just for the sake of time to record this, let's move on to the last grouping of figures, and these are all from Spider-Man, and this is a 2-pack. This one is Renew Your Vows Spider-Man with good old Peter Parker and Mary Jane as Spinneret. It's a great 2-pack. I think this is a very solid representation of Spidey. And I feel like if you're getting Marvel Legends, you probably gotta have at least one Spidey in the collection. This was a Amazon exclusive 2-pack, and luckily I was open to adding some figures in my collection. And funny enough, speaking of Amazon, this Venom came in the 3-pack. I forget exactly what it's called. I'll leave a name in the down over here. But the 3-pack came with 2 other symbiotes, Riot and Agony, I believe. I have no attachment to them and actually wound up selling them off on eBay. But I thought this was an absolutely awesome rendition of Venom, especially this kind of half Eddie, half Venom sculpt right here. The fully masked Venom head that came with this one actually looks more like the movie Venom, which I'm okay with. Not the biggest fan, but love Venom, love Carnage. That's kind of where I came in at the height of their popularity when I started reading comics. I don't have Carnage yet. That's one I gotta keep an eye out for. So we shall see. But there's Venom. And last but not least, we've got Miles Morales Spider-Man here. Absolutely love this costume. Love the character of Miles. I mean, even compared to the live-action movies, I think the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are some of the best Marvel movies that you can watch right now. I haven't kept up with what they've been doing with him in the comics, but from like the periphery glance, I feel like there have been too many costume changes in the short amount of time, 5 years, where I've been paying attention. This costume is classic. I feel like it's the one that people are going to visualize, especially with the popularity of those Sony movies I just mentioned. Please just simplify things and get your boy Miles front and center.
All right, guys, we are back, and you've seen my current collection. Now, I did mention this, before, but I do have quite the build-up of unopened figures. So now that we have this little snapshot from April 2025, we're gonna unbox some videos in the upcoming weeks. It'll give us something different from the regular comic hauls, so please stay tuned for that. Also, if you have a favorite figure from the bunch or any recommendations, also please let me know. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.